In today's video, I'm going to break down my top 10 guard dog breeds for 2020. Welcome back to the Canine Show. If you're new here, my name's Will. I'm a canine behaviourist, and on this channel I make videos just like this one to educate people all about the amazing dog breeds that we love so much. So if you are new here, please consider subscribing. So like I say, in this video I'm going to break down my top 10 guard dog breeds for 2020. And when I say guard dog breeds, I mean all-round general purpose guardian breeds for the average person looking for a dog that will help protect their family and their home. Now, like most things in life, year by year the fashionability and popularity of certain breeds kind of come and go. Now for me, I try not to buy into the popularity of dog breeds, but as my experience with different breeds grows, as my knowledge and skill set grows, my opinions change. So I want to do a video at the start of this year to say right here, right now, where I am, my personal, and this is completely my biased opinion on my top 10 guard dogs. Now before we jump into this top 10 list, I want to announce a project that I've been working on for months and something that I'm extremely proud of. Many of you will know that I run FenrirDogTraining.com, and my Perfect Puppy course has been an incredible success, and I'm so proud of the amount of people that course has helped to be able to have people be able to become good canine leaders and raise perfect canine companions. Now for people that aren't just getting a puppy from day one and want to start off from day one, I wanted to create a course that is perfect for everybody out there with all of their dogs regardless of the age that they are, and I've created my bootcamp course, which is now available on FenrirDogTraining.com. Now my bootcamp course, my bootcamp protocol is something that I utilize every single day with my clients that come to me asking for a wide variety of help from different reasons, different behavioral problems, or simply that they're adopting a new dog and they want to get it off to the best start possible, but with it being an older dog, the Perfect Puppy course isn't ideal. Now the bootcamp protocol is a twofold course. It's designed to help you become a perfect canine leader that is therefore able to raise perfect canine companions, because you can't have one without the other. So if you want to know more information about that course and how it can help you with simple behavioral problems like obnoxious barking, issues in the crate, excessive chewing, all the way up to extreme behaviors like severe separation anxiety, dog-to-dog aggression, dog-to-person aggression, and everything in between, and why it is that I utilize this bootcamp course for the vast majority of the cases that I work with, the link is in the description down below. But without further ado, let's dive into today's top 10. Now starting my list at number 10, and it may be a surprise for a lot of you that I actually don't have them higher on my list, but I'm starting with the Rottweiler. Now for me, the Rottweiler is a great all-purpose, all-round dog that does everything very well, but not necessarily tops the leaderboards in any one category when it comes to guard dog work. Don't get me wrong, they're extremely intelligent, very easy to train, eager to please and make ferocious guard dogs, but for me there is just breeds that are kind of a little bit better in every kind of area that can make up a guard dog. As this is my completely biased list, and I'm more than happy for you to disagree with me, that's absolutely fine, but for me they couldn't not be on the list, but they do start off our list at number 10. So like I say, don't get me wrong, Rottweilers can make fantastic guardians, but for me personally there's other breeds that can do each job a little bit better. Now at number 9 I have the Belgian Malinois, and again one of the most commonly used personal protection and guardian breeds, and for very good reason. It's because of their insane drive, intelligence, eagerness to please, and the ability to learn new things amazingly. Again, it could be argued that this dog should be much higher on the list. Now for me they're definitely on the list because of those incredible abilities that they've got, but they kind of fall down a little bit for me in terms of intimidation factor and in terms of their natural ingrained guarding ability, as well as their relationships that they build with their owners. And for the vast majority of people that want just a general all-purpose guard dog, again I do think there's better dogs on the list. But if you are looking to go to high levels of obedience and high levels of personal protection work, then the Belgian Malinois very well may be the best in the world, and like I say, for that reason had to be on this list. But for general all-purpose guardian work, I did leave them a little bit higher. At number 8 I have the Boer Boer, or the South African Mastiff that many people know them to be. Now the Boer Boer is an incredibly ferocious guardian dog, one of the larger of the Mastiff type breeds, and definitely one of the most outgoing and naturally protective of those guardian breeds. So where the where the Belgian Malinois, for example, might lack on natural abilities, the Bourbon comes topped up to the brim with natural guarding abilities. Now, for me, like I say, they are brilliant in that area, but where they let themselves down a little bit is their eagerness to please, their ability to learn, and their ability to look to you for direction, which I believe is really important for everyday normal people guardian work. If you have huge properties to guard or large farm areas to guard, then a Bourbon might be a fantastic pick, where you need a dog that can think for itself and be on its own for long periods of time. But like I say, that is a very slim percentage of the amount of normal people that want just general guardian breeds, and for me, I think they are a little bit too eager to act on their own and of their own accord, which makes them very unsuitable for the vast majority of owners. But again, like these last few dogs that we've been talking about, there's no way I could leave them off my list, but they definitely do need a very specific type of owner and a very specific type of environment for them to truly thrive. And even though if you find that owner in that environment, they very well may be one of the most ferocious guardian breeds on the planet, because of that very slim requirements that they have, I definitely couldn't feature them higher on the list. At number 7, I have a breed that I am very biased towards, and a breed that I absolutely love, and it's the Turkish Kangal. Again, in a similar fashion to the Bourbon, the Turkish Kangal is a ferocious, natural guardian that requires no training whatsoever to be an incredible guard dog breed. Often reported to have the highest bite force of every dog in the planet, and again, I have to take that with a little bit of a pinch of salt. Now, if your long-term viewers know, I did start a series where I spent months and a lot of money on developing a bite force rig to actually go out and test and find out what dog breed has the highest bite force. Now, the problem is it's very difficult to humanely get a dog to bite onto something with full force to register it, and a lot of these guardian breeds actually have very good bite inhibition, so it was very difficult to be able to test dogs to really be able to put them in a ranked order, which for me further confirmed my suspicions that a lot of those lists are nonsense, to be honest. So don't get me wrong, the Turkish Kangal is a very, very capable breed, but like the Bourbon, is a very independent dog. Now, I personally absolutely love them. I would love to work with these dogs, but there never would be a dog that I would have as my personal guard dog unless I happened to move to a farm with huge amounts of land that I wanted to protect. And even so, in this country, in England, a Turkish Kangal probably wouldn't be required for that level of protection. But if you live in a country that's a little bit sketchier and you do require that level of protection, especially for things like your livestock, there probably isn't a better natural guardian in the world than the Turkish Kangal. The reason they feature higher than some of the other breeds that, like I say, are kind of very strong in one area that lack it in others, like the Turkish Kangal does, is the fact that the Turkish Kangal also forms extremely deep bonds with their family, especially when they're raised in a loving family environment, but they need to be able to be let out and express that desire to roam and that desire to naturally protect their area and their flock. And again, like I say, like the Bourbon, they are so independent that makes them very, very badly suited to the vast majority of general people that just want a general guard dog. They are getting very popular, especially because of these myths around their bite force and unsavory to people that want a dog just to kind of show off or to be intimidating, are bringing Turkish Kangals into their lives and into small houses with small gardens where they're not suited whatsoever, and they're often then being faced with lots of issues, which then gets them the bad reputation. And it's not the dog's fault, it's simply the owners have chose the wrong breed for them, which, like I always say, is my driving force behind these videos. Find the dog that suits your requirements perfectly, then learn how to be a good canine leader that raises perfect canine companions, and we won't have any issues. The dogs won't be going to shelters and then unfortunately put down. And the Turkish Kangal is starting to, as their popularity is increasing, those figures of dogs ending up in shelters and euthanized are also starting to increase, and it's something that I'm starting to come across more. So as much as I absolutely adore this breed and I wouldn't speak badly of them, they're very, very, very rarely a breed that I would actually recommend to the vast majority of people, just because, again, like the Bourbon, they only really fit into a very certain type of owner and a certain type of environment. At number 6, I have the Dogo Argentino. Now, the Dogo Argentino is one of the very few breeds that I actually don't have any first-hand experience with because of the fact that they are completely banned and illegal here in the UK. Now, on my next trip to the US, I definitely plan on meeting some breeders and spending some time with this beautiful breed that is a fantastic dog, and it is completely unfounded and uncalled for that they are banned in this country. It is a classic case of a lack of education around different breeds and around dogs, and blaming the breed as opposed to putting more responsibility on owners and the type of owner that should be having these breeds. Now, there's definitely a debate to be had around should people require different licenses for different categories of dogs. As always, I think there's pros and cons, but I do think a Dogo Argentino, as is proved by many owners over in America that I speak with regularly, can be fantastic family animals. They absolutely adore their families. They adore to work for them. They're very eager and keen to please, and they're incredibly athletic, which makes them fantastic working dogs in a variety of guarding and hunting purposes. And for that reason, with the right owner that can offer the right kind of leadership, they can make fantastic dogs. But like all large, powerful breeds, you become a bad leader and you raise your dog badly, they can become dangerous, but so can a Chihuahua. The problem is, a badly behaved Chihuahua and a badly behaved Dogo Argentino, the end result is going to be much different, even though the behaviours are actually very similar. So in my opinion, it's completely unfounded that they're banned, and more people, the focus shouldn't be on banning and enforcing bans. It should be about educating people and about educating them on not only what breed they should and shouldn't have, but if they do have those breeds, how to be a calm, consistent leader to keep them under control, well-mannered and well-behaved. But that is a topic that I could speak for hours on, and is a topic for a different video. So we are going to move forward with this list, and we're moving into the top 5 where things really start to get juicy and difficult to kind of pick between. And at number 5, we have the most common guarding breed in the world, the German Shepherd. And although they are the most common guarding breed in the world, for me, they're just not quite higher on my list. And I'll explain why. Don't get me wrong, they are, and rightfully so, considered to be one of the most intelligent dogs in the world, and also one of the most trainable dogs in the world. And they are an absolute joy and pleasure to be with, to work with, to train. And if you can get a well-behaved, well-mannered, obedient German Shepherd alongside a calm, consistent leader, it is an absolutely beautiful sight to behold, and does make them one of my favourite dog breeds in the planet. Now, I don't put them higher on my list for general guardian roles, simply because they do require a level of expertise in terms of training them, just because they have such high drive to work. Now, it's that drive, that high exercise requirement and that high mental stimulation requirement that is kind of a double-edged sword for the breed. It makes them extremely capable and is the reason that they're so commonly used in police and military, but it also means that if you don't offer those things, which is very common in just general household guardian roles, bad behaviours very quickly start to come in. And with a breed so energetic and highly driven as a German Shepherd, those bad behaviours very quickly can escalate into serious behaviours, which does make the German Shepherd a very common breed to unfortunately get put down. Again, like we banged on about before, it's not the breed's fault, it's the owner's fault for either choosing the wrong breed for their lifestyle or not making their lifestyle suit the breed. So if you are considering a German Shepherd, they are fantastic dogs and will be a joy to work with. Just make sure you really take the time in the first place to think about, can you offer that level of exercise and mental stimulation that they require? And do you have the skill set, experience and knowledge to be a perfect, calm, consistent leader for the dog? Because without those things, it is a recipe for disaster. Now, like I say, if you are struggling with that areas, or you've got a German Shepherd that's starting to display some of those negative behaviours, definitely check out my boot camp course. That 1 month protocol is an absolute dream for those kind of behaviours as they're starting to set in, to snap them out of it, really put some structure into the dog's life and let them have the ability to see you as the calm and consistent leader, so they follow your direction rather than trying to make decisions for themselves, because that is at the root and the problem with most behaviours that cause these serious issues. At number 4 on my completely biased list, as you probably were expecting at some point, is the Bull Mastiff. Again, if you've been following my journey for any amount of time, you'll probably know by now that I used to have a Bull Mastiff, and a Bull Mastiff was my first guardian breed that I ever raised from a puppy and owned myself. She was a beautiful, sweet-hearted, kind-natured, fantastic dog that I genuinely do miss every day. She was a joy to be around, an absolute loving, gentle companion, and was amazing with my children. and also had that added benefit of being a general all-purpose natural instinct guarding breed that comes with the Mastiff as a package. And it's one of the reasons that I love the Mastiff lineage and the Mastiff umbrella of dogs so much. That combination of them forming the deep devotion and the loving bonds is unlike any other breed on the planet, alongside that natural inclination to defend them no matter what the cost, makes them one of the best guardian breeds on the planet. Now, the Bull Mastiff doesn't feature higher, as a lot of people call it stubbornness, a lot of people mistake it for dominance, a lot of people think that it's a lack of IQ and that they're not that smart and simply not that trainable. Now, I definitely don't think it's dominance, and I'm not quite sure if it's stubbornness. I think it's kind of a combination of stubbornness, of lack of IQ, and of kind of simple laziness. That Bull Mastiffs are notorious for being a little bit more difficult to train than many of the other breeds, and when they make their mind and have their mind set on something, it can be a little bit difficult to kind of break them out of that mindset and get them to do something that they don't want to do. Now, oftentimes that does add to their character and is quite high comedy value, but if that kind of mindset sets in and embeds in bad behaviors, not just the not wanting to go for a walk, for example, for lying on their back and going, no, I'm not getting up now, even if you want me to, I'm not moving, and them just lying and lounging around. Like I say, that can be quite endearing and quite funny. But if that behavior slips into, no, I'm going to go and chase that thing, or no, I'm going to bark at that thing, it can become quite difficult to break out of. So they're kind of pros and cons of the Bull Mastiff. I absolutely love the breed, but not the most trainable. If they were more trainable, they'd feature higher. So yeah, I think number 4 is kind of a sweet spot for the Bull Mastiff. At number 3, I have the Doberman, and the Doberman, again, if you've been following my journey, is one of my favourite breeds on the planet, and they kind of combine all the areas of the requirements for a guarding breed absolutely perfectly. And for that reason, like I was saying with the Rottweiler, how they're brilliant at a lot of things but not necessarily amazing at everything, in my opinion the Doberman is amazing at everything, and not necessarily the best, which would have them featuring in my number 1 spot, but they have an incredible intimidation factor, they have a fantastic intelligence and ability to learn, they have an excellent level of drive, they are loving, and what kind of for me separates them from the Rottweiler is I find them to be much more loving and gentle and calm in the home environment, yet as skillful and eager and able to work outside of the home environment, whereas the Rottweiler can be a little bit too switched on at all times, whereas like I say, the Doberman does have a better off switch when you don't want that level of them working and always looking and always wanting something to work, yet when it's required from them, they're probably one of the best breeds, right up there with your German Shepherds and your Belgian Malinois. An absolute fantastic breed. At number 2, and this is definitely a completely biased pick for my number 2 spot, is the English Mastiff. Very similar to the Bull Mastiff, but just kind of takes the things up another notch again in terms of their gentleness with family, gentleness with children, but that added size, muscle mass, and just sheer weight and density takes the intimidation level through the roof with the English Mastiff. One of the most thunderous barks on the planet, alongside one of the most intimidating looks, but the epitome of being a gentle giant. Again, they're very high on my list of the next dog if I was to bring one into my life. I absolutely adore the English Mastiff, but again, like the Bull Mastiff, they probably shouldn't have appeared this high on the list. Like I say, this is completely my biased favourite list of my guard dog breeds in 2020, but that just the devotion and the love that they have for their family, especially children, is unlike any other breed on the planet, and is the reason why I just adore them so much. You combine that just with the sheer size, power and look of the dog, and you have the epitome of a gentle giant. Again, they do let themselves down a little bit in their lack of intelligence or eagerness or ability to learn and to train, but if you're getting an English Mastiff, you've already made the decision that you're not training a high level protection dog. Otherwise you'd have gone with a German Shepherd, Doberman, Belgian Malinois, Rottweiler, those kind of breeds. The English Mastiff is an absolute dream, natural, inherent family guard dog, and beautiful animal. I absolutely love them. I can't stress it how much I love them more. Now, at number one is kind of a bittersweet place for me. If you've been following my journey over on my Will and Mabel channel, you'll know that before Christmas, a few months ago, I did bring a new Connie Corso puppy into my home, and unfortunately, earlier last week, she did pass away at just 4 months old from a heart issue called PDA. Now, I'm not going to spend too much time on why the Connie Corso is my number one pick. It's kind of obvious, but yes, number one, my favourite guard dog breeds of 2020 are the Connie Corso, and it is the reason I chose to bring a Connie Corso into my home. They kind of do everything, not just amazingly, but I do think they are also the best in a lot of categories as well. They are kind of the epitome of a Mastiff. You get all of those fantastic features that you get with an English Mastiff and a Bull Mastiff in terms of their devotion and their love of the family and the children, but you also get the intelligence levels of your Rottweilers and your Dobermans and the eagerness to please and the eagerness to work of those breeds, which is why they're fast becoming one of the most common personal protection and family guardian breeds in the world. On top of those things, they also have an excellent level of athleticism, which does make them a pleasure to come out and about and explore the world with you in ways that an English Mastiff or a Bull Mastiff might not be able to or might not want to. They just kind of are the perfect all-round package. Now, like I say, this video is kind of dedicated to the passing of Mabel. It's an opportunity for me to share with you guys that she did pass away. If you haven't been following my journey over on Will and Mabel, if you wanted more information, I have done a few videos over on that channel about that, but it is something that we're kind of trying to move forward and move past now, and to help with the grieving process for myself and the family. But yeah, so this video is kind of dedicated to Mabel. It's dedicated to the Connie Corso breeds. They do take my number one spot. Absolutely fantastic breed. Again, if you want more information about the breed or you want to see them and see them as a puppy, there's loads of videos over on my Will and Mabel channel from before she passed away, so loads of content for you to check out over there. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you are new here, don't forget to subscribe, and we will see you on the next episode of The Canine Show.